Is my hair a mess? Yes. I just walked back from class and it's like 100 degrees. So I think I'm in the clear for this. Before I get into this video, I wanted to say some things. I have a Patreon, which if you don't know is basically just like an online tip jar where you can subscribe to support creators monthly. Guys, I'm sorry, it's just so hot. I need to do this. So there's more information about Patreon on my Patreon page, but it's just a way to support me if you like the things I do. Second, and more importantly, the response to the video that I made previous to this one, it has warmed my heart. Just so much positivity and so much kindness. That's all I'm gonna say because I don't want to get emotional. This is a lighthearted video. I want to talk about my favorite things that I've consumed in August. Books, the podcasts, the shows, the movies, all that stuff that I watched in August. And I realize that it is almost the end of September. I wanted to do this video much earlier, but lots of things came up and I just haven't had the time or the energy. These are my favorite things in the month of August. I kind of did bad on the reading part of it. I haven't been great at reading lately, which is upsetting because I love reading, but anyway, you'll see when you look at my list. It's kind of sad. So I'm gonna start with some honorable mentions, some things that I didn't watch for the first time in August. Honorable mentions include Brooklyn Nine-Nine, The Office, and Broad City. They're just some fun comedies that I will play while I'm studying, or I'll just like put on while I need background noise because I know every episode by heart and I love them. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is about the 99th precinct in New York, and it's just crime solving and a bunch of nerds just being cops. And also The Office. If you haven't watched The Office, then like, where have you been? And then Broad City. I started watching this in June, and I just recently rewatched it, and it's just so funny. It's about these two girls living in New York, and just funny. It's just funny. And one of their names is Abby. Not spelled the same, but I appreciate the effort. Next on the list, by the way, this list isn't really ordered in like favorites or like, and it's just a list. But next up is Shadowhunters. If you know me at all, you know that I love me some Shadowhunters. I started reading the books when I was probably late middle school age, and my sister and I, we read it together. So it has a special place in my heart because of that. It's kind of cheesy. The show is definitely very cheesy. But it got renewed for a second season and I watched all of it, of course. It's one of those shows that if you didn't read the book and you didn't already care about the characters and the storylines, you wouldn't like the show. Season 2 is a little better, going in the right direction. I still love it. I love it. I love Shadowhunters. Another show that I recently finished watching, but I started it in August, so I'm counting it as an August thing, is Girl Boss. It's a Netflix original and it is so good. It looks like it kind of takes place in like the early 2000s. It's about a girl and she starts this business on eBay and she's just trying to be an adult in a world that doesn't believe in her. So I thought it was really cool, kind of inspiring, and I liked it. It was funny. Next up is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's called What We Do in the Shadows, and it's a mockumentary about this group of vampires that are friends and live in New Zealand, and it's just so funny. And then the 7th season of Game of Thrones came out. So good, and like a lot of people don't like it very much, but it's Game of Thrones, and it was the first season that I ever watched live as the episodes were coming out because I recently just caught up to it. I think there was an order, a subconscious order to this, because the final thing, my favorite thing that I read in August, and the only thing that I read in August. There were 3 books, so it was 3 things I read in August, but it was a series called All for the Game. The first book is The Foxhole Court, and it is so good. It's about sports, and I hate sports. I mean, it's about a fake sport called Xe. But it's a sports book, and I thought I wouldn't like it. I thought it would be mediocre, but I am obsessed with it. I'm trying to get every person I know to read this book because I don't know anyone in real life that has read this book. But anyway, it is about this kid named Neil Jostin, and he's been on the run since he was like 8 years old with his mom, and his mom recently died, and so he's kind of on his own, figuring out how to be like on the run as like an 18, 19-year-old. He's like 18, I think. And he ends up getting recruited by the Palmetto State University to play Xe because Xe is kind of like his thing. It's the only thing like keeping him alive. It's the only thing he like cares about in life. Being on the run, you know, being like a famous athlete, probably won't help your runaway status. There's so many more layers to it that I like can't even talk about without spoiling it, but people die, people fall in love, and Neil finds a family in his teammates, and that always, like, the whole found family trope where the main character finds a group of misfits and they become a family is like so my weak spot. It is like one of my favorite tropes. My all-time favorite trope, as we know, is in Carry On. It's the enemies to lovers trope, and that kind of happens in this series too. So it makes sense why I love this series. Those are the things that I have consumed in August, and hopefully I will come out with another video similar to this about the things that I've consumed in September. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked this, and have a great day. Bye.